Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had Chief Deputy Warden Scott Stedman smash that subscribe button, go and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest and latest patrons: Raymond, Joe83, El Compa Jose, Tony Rex, Hernan, Michael Mua, Winston, Alejandro, Trailero760, Grant, El Skid, Nathan, Hobie Cat, Mika Boy. Good seeing you at the gym, my boy. Good to put the face to the name. Mika Boy. Lead with Love, Charles, Albert 12, Soulstar LA, AI Vega, Esquel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Jack, Linda, Angel, Michigan Wolverines, Mikey, Abuelita Irma, Marius, Chevelle 66, Gigi, Abuelita's Journey, and Dal Herrero. If you have not already signed up, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit the link in the description below. You are definitely missing out on some fire content. This episode right here, man. If you didn't catch my live from last night, I outdid myself. I truly outdid myself. Go check it out. Hit the little live link. Hit the live tab on my channel. On our channel. So, Hector, what are you doing this all for? What is it all for? Why? Couldn't you have just quit and rode off into the sunset quietly? Yeah, I could have. Couldn't you have just stayed in the department for another 12 remaining years until you turn the age of 50? 50? Yeah, I suppose I could have also, right? These are all options. I could have. So what's the deal? Look, man, I am my own person, right? I'm built different. This is to not knock anybody that served honorably, right? You be having some dirty staff members honorably in the California Department of Corrections. Did their 20, 25, 22, 30 years, 28 years, and retired. Sucked it up, put up with the BS, watched all the changes, and retired. My pops was one of them. My pops started in 1993 and resigned when I promoted to sergeant like in 2015. He did what he had to do. He did what he had to do to provide for the family, right? To feed me. My hat's off to him. Like that, I will for always be grateful, right? I owe that to him. For all the OGs that did that, right? I'm not knocking them. That's what they did. That's what they had to do. What I experienced, my experience, the way I was, my upbringing in the military, that had a major impact to do with it, man. And I'm going to explain why. 17 years old, man. My mind wasn't fully developed. The leaders that I met were not that much older than me. 20, 21, 22-year-old staff sergeants, E6 in the Army. They showed me, they physically showed me what a true leader is. Then they would go on into Iraq and get killed in action. Killed in action. KIA. That shaped me. That molded me. That conformed me. That did something to me. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. That's another thing that plays a part in all of what I'm doing. I'm an alcoholic. I got 12 years of sobriety. When I was drinking, I was a mess. I was selfish as vato. Like, I would promise you the world without any fucking hopes of delivering it. I didn't care. I was very shady with it. Disrespectful. When I drank, I got very disrespectful, abusive at times, verbally abusive, physically abusive. I was just not a good person. I was sick, not bad, right? So I have all these experiences behind me. I came back from Iraq, post traumatic stress disorder. Oh, that was hell on earth. My year back from Iraq was worse than my year in Iraq. Self medication. I have all these experiences, right? Every lesson I learned in life, I learned the hard way. Yeah, I joined law enforcement because, like, that's what my personality was. Like, you have good guys, bad guys, cops, robbers. Like, luckily enough, after hearing people's stories, my dad prevented me from going down that road. Yeah, I wasn't happy. I wanted to wear baggy pants. The other kids in school were wearing baggy pants. My pops wouldn't let me, straight up. I wanted the belt buckle that was chrome with a little old English letter. My pops wouldn't let me have it. Yeah, I was mad. I couldn't see it then. Now I fucking see it. I saw it years ago, right? Like, oh, okay. When my cousin asked me if I wanted to get jumped into Brole, the gang in Brawley, when I was like probably 11 years old, and I said, "No, man, my dad's gonna whoop my ass," right? So I joined law enforcement. I wanted to fight crime, I guess you can say. I wanted to do right by the people. Whatever. They were making a lot of money, to be honest with you. In the Imperial Valley, Calipaz, Centinela, every CO had a big ass truck. Every CO had fucking a wife and a girlfriend. Every CO had the big screen TV, right? Everybody was just, it was all cool on the up and up. So then I joined the department, man. And it was cool at first. And then they hit us with the furloughs. They hit us with the furloughs in 2009, 2010, 9. 15% pay cut across the board. Like, damn, man, I joined to make all this money. Here I am getting money taken away. Then rules started changing, laws started changing. And that's cool, whatever, man. If the rules change, the laws change, that's the law, right? How many times did I raise my hand and swear to uphold the law? A couple times. Military, law enforcement, right? I'm not a fucking square. You guys know that. Then I promote to Donovan, man, because I wanted to be closer to home. And that's just where it went all bad. Like, everything went bad. The managers were very unethical, corrupt. COVID was mishandled, negligence, dereliction of duty. And that's one thing. But when you had me and other individuals speaking up and saying, hey, guys, above us, respectfully, hey, time out, like, and they would tell us, hey, shut up, you're being insubordinate, or not even give us the courtesy and tell us. They would just put us under investigation for frivolous investigations, insubordinations. That didn't sit well with me, right? You have to understand, I didn't see that big picture at that point. I'm like, the fuck? Like, this is not cool, man. This is not cool. It was making me, I'm not going to use the word disgruntled because that's not disgruntled. That is a person that has a belief system that I did: morals, values, ethics, respect, honor, duty, courage, selfless service. That, like, everything in here is going against my being, and it's not even the inmates. Right? You talk to any CO, they're going to tell you that the problem is not the inmates, it's the fucking management, the staff. They're going to tell you this. Because the inmates are the inmates. You can deal with it one way or another, right? Hey, come here, man, I'm going to pat you down, right? That's easy. To be suppressed, and like forced to do stuff that is against your belief system was a whole nother animal to me. Was quitting an option then? No, because it's like that fear. How am I gonna quit this? What no, that wasn't even an option. I can't quit. Like the fuck? Like that wasn't even a thought, right? And then it got really, really bad. Two cops got stabbed almost to death on Bravo Yard. You guys know that whole story. And I'm like, okay, now blood is being shed because of the incompetence, because of the immoralness, because of the ineptitude, the corruption. That's blood right there. I saw that blood. I've seen blood plenty of times in the military, in prison. I've seen blood, right? Then inmates started getting hurt. A yard, non designated program, minimum. At my hands, no less. Inmates started getting hurt at my hands, no less. Inmates fucking attacking each other because we're mixing the wrong ones. And then me right there quelling the force, quelling the violence with use of force. All this is not sitting with me like, the fuck, man? Right? It was an internal battle with my spirituality. I'm over here trying to practice the good of AA, of Alcoholics Anonymous, which I've been in AA for 12 years, right? It works if you work it. And I'm in this fucking cesspool. I'm in this fucking nightmare. I got a wife, and my daughter was coming on board. So now things have just dynamically changed, right? I was very unhappy. Well, Hector, how can you be unhappy? You were making $157,000 a year. We seen your pay stub. You had 2 brand new rides of the year. Yeah, every car I had was of the year. I don't give a fuck. You living in $1 million pad, Hector? Yeah, well, it's San Diego. That's not really saying much. You cannot put a price on mental health, one, and on my values, two. Just like I used to tell the inmates, I will never bring in shit for you, right? I will never bring any contraband in for you. I would rather be homeless, broke, living at a park without any shoes, eating out of a trash can than to ever bring anything into you. And they kind of understood that message. Well, I started feeling that way about my department. I don't want to do this dirty bidding. I don't want to do the devil's work. I don't give a fuck how much money you pay me. I don't give a fuck. Right? Then my daughter was born. And I told you guys, she was 3 years old and she gave me this look. We were sitting on the couch and the look that she gave me was like standoffish. I fucking remember that look because it caught me off guard. Like she sees something in me. I'm not happy. She sees like I'm kind of on edge. And it hit me like it's a fucking job, man. It's a fucking job. So then that's when the planning started. All right. Well, Hector, couldn't you just have quit and shut the fuck up and left? Nah. Because that wasn't the goal. What do you want to call it? Retaliation? That I wanted to retaliate against the department for putting us, what we went through at Donovan? And check this out, man. I never suffered adverse action besides my DUI in 09 or 010. I don't know. I used to fuck up a lot. But I didn't suffer no adverse action at the hands of that corrupt administration. So I wasn't doing that shit for me. I was doing it for the other people that were going through it. Oh, what the fuck they were going through it. The inmates, right? Hector, are you an inmate lover? You're missing the whole motherfucking point. The point is, I was watching shit that shouldn't have been happening, partaking in shit that shouldn't have been happening. The mixing of the GPs and SNY, like, nah, I'm cool. Nah, I'm really fucking cool. I'm out of here, right? And I was thinking about this last night as I was laying in bed. Well, fuck, Hector, do you have resentment towards the department? And I learned about the word resentment in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Resentment is pretty much you drinking poison and hoping the other person dies, right? It's just going to fester in you. It's going to build that toxicity. And I was thinking and laying in bed, like, fuck, you do hold a little bit of resentment, man. Look at how you come wild at these fucking episodes. You're holding that resentment. It's coming out. And as far as resentment goes, yeah, I need to let that go for sure. I do. It's in my best interest, right? People would tell me, and they still say it. Damn, Hector, you got a lot of balls, man. You got a lot of courage. You got a lot of balls for what you did, for what you continue to do. Aren't you afraid? Especially when I first came out. Aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid that they're going to come after you? Aren't you afraid? No, no, for a couple reasons. One, my friends that were killed in Iraq gave their life. Their life. They're no longer here. They can't breathe. They can't watch their kids grow up. They can't buy a house. They can't drive around because they gave their life for me, for us. So what is it to me if I quit my job and walk away from $150,000? What is it? It's told you right now. It's not about the money. It's about the principles. So no, I was not afraid. Was I aware of the repercussions? Yeah, I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not an idiot. In the best way that I know how, using strategy, the art of war, Sun Tzu, my experiences, I set the cards up in my favor. I peacefully submitted a letter of resignation to the warden. I peacefully walked out that front door with my chin up, front door, with my chin up, my shoulders back, didn't look back. I gave that to myself, right? I gave myself an honorable exit. I have a daughter. She just turned 5, right? When I became a father, it became clear. My dad did what he had to do. He had to put in those 22 years in to feed us, to put clothes on our back. Not baggy clothes. I already told you about that. I'm going to show my daughter straight up. She's watching it. She knows. She's definitely not dumb. Hey, baby, live by values. Live by something. Stand by something or fall for anything, right? I'm not saying go out there and recklessly put your life at risk. I saw who was running my department, the department. Buffoons, man. You guys know this. If I was running circles around them in there, I'd definitely run circles around them out here because there's no chains. There's no restrictions. You can't enforce policy and procedure on me out here. Now, do I put anything past them? No, they can make up all kinds of stuff. I've seen them do it over and over and over again, so why wouldn't they do it here? But look at how much of a leg up I have. Look at how much of a head start we have. 18,000 subscribers, right? If and when they come after me now, they're going to have a pretty good damn excuse as why. Number one, why it took so long. Number two is, hey, what was he talking about before you guys did what you did, right? The proof is there, man. All my write-ups, everybody's testimony, all the documentation, letters or news articles from retired associate wardens that blew the whistle, all my EEO complaints, it's all documentation, right? So no, I'm not afraid. I'm well aware of the consequences. And as far as blue side goes, I honestly keep into the lanes as much as possible and am respectful as much as possible that I can be. I'm not a dummy. I have street smarts. I know what to say. I know what not to say. I know when to mind my P's and Q's, period. I see people in the comments, and this is not addressing them. This is what it is. They're taking shots, and I could tell. I see people in the comments from all walks of life, and I could see where they're at in the stage of their life, right? So if they're on the YouTube comment section and they're talking gangbanging, yeah, puro sur, puro norte, fuck our enemigas, right? It's like, okay, I know where they're at. They're still in the trenches. They're still in the mix. That's cool, whatever. I ain't even knocking them. Keep doing your thing. I'm letting you know what's at the end of the tunnel, right? What's at the end of the road? I've had conversations with close people of mine, and I said, "Hey, what am I?" Initially, "Hey, what am I doing? Is it wrong? Am I, am I, am I do? What am I doing? If what I am doing is that wrong?" And they're like, "No, man, check this out. You're holding a candle, right? You're holding a light, and all you're doing, Hector, is you're being the messenger, and you're showing everybody, hey, look over here. Don't go into this room right here. There's monsters." Right? And I'm opening that door for you guys to see. And we're going down the hall. And I'm showing you the light. Look over here. There's monsters. You guys do with what you want with that information. So no, like, well, Hector, now that you're out, you're not a law enforcement officer. Do you feel the need to enforce the law and be a copper? Huh, I'm cool with that. I'm done with that. Right? I did that. Well, then, Hector, since you have a fucking free-for-all, you could do whatever you want. You talk to formerly incarcerated inmates. Do you feel the need to be a gangbanger? No, of course not, right? I'm a man who's married that has a daughter, has some life experiences, and I'm here to share it with the world. Period. With the help of you guys, and as a result of you guys welcoming and embracing me and accepting the truth, it has all been possible. It is humbling. It is overwhelming. It's tiring at times. Yeah, I drink a lot of chanate, don't trip. I don't skip a fucking beat. You guys see me every morning. So what's the message for today? The message is stand for something or fall for anything. The message is get the hate out of your heart. The message is everybody's path, everybody's life, everybody's journey is different, right? You can come on here and say, and I seen all these OG COs, man. One I used to work with, he tapped in on the one of the interviews I did and said, "Why would you interview him? He only did 16 years. I did 25 years. I could tell way better stories than him." It's like, hey, bro, mind your fucking business. Stay in your fucking lane, right? Don't come at me. Nobody should ever want to come at me, right? You want to, go ahead. It doesn't really matter. With that, thank you guys. 18,000 subscribers. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. You're struggling with addiction and substance abuse, I got experience, strength, and hope for you. If you're suffering with working in a toxic environment, I got experience, strength, and hope for you. If your loved one is incarcerated behind those walls and dealing with the buffoonery, I have experience, strength, and hope for you. If you're in the fucking trenches as an inmate, you're still GP, you're putting in work, I have experience, strength, and hope for you. With that, keep pushing forward.